Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shane. Who are we, Shane?
Man, who are we? We are two seasoned recruiters saying all the things that you can about corporate America, passing along the trauma that we've received, hoping that you won't have to, or at least you will be able to laugh while going through it.
Yes. Oh, you have your Lion King mug again. I was going to get tea. Actually, I heated up water to make tea, but I realized that I'm out of decaffeinated tea and
Interesting.
I can't have caffeine.
Why can't you
So
have caffeine?
I'm like a gremlin. No, no, it makes my nerves bad. I can only have
That's
caffeine on the weekends. So,
funny. You can only have
okay.
your nerves
So,
out on the weekends.
so on today's show,
Mm-hmm.
we have some updates. We have some hot topics. So we're going to talk about Elon Musk slash Twitter,
Must be nice.
A Kentucky man's lawsuit, Florida bride. All you need to know.
You know it's going to be
This
good if it's in Florida.
right. A Texas man's retrial starts soon. An update on the South Carolina death row inmate. There's a Georgia inmate now adding to the shenanigans. Um, and a Netflix update. And then our main topic is the third installment of a three-part series. So we started with the signs that it's time to look for a new job. Last week we talked about tips for your job search, and then this week we're going to talk about the top employers to work for, East Coast versus West Coast. We did a search based on California and New York, New Jersey, and then 100 best diversity employers. So let's kick it off. So Elon Musk.
Man, golly, right? There's levels to this rich thing, isn't it? When you
Yes.
can just wake up one day and be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna buy Twitter today. I
And
think I
let
think
me
that's what I
point
want to do.
Right. But let me point out the fact that he's talking about freedom of speech. This is the fool who canceled a blogger's Tesla order because they talk shit
And we're not gonna talk
about
about
Tesla or about him.
the
So he is
multiple
supreme petty.
and then the multiple discrimination lawsuits that be rolling out of Tesla.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We
Tesla,
know somebody whose
Tesla.
husband worked at Tesla and
Hmm.
she was nutty and he was nutty. They didn't I don't think they shut down at all during the pandemic. He was like, "No, you just keep making cars."
Yeah, basically. And then from what all the documents from the lawsuit state that the managers at Tesla kind of push persons of color for the more harder, more demeaning jobs. While everyone else,
Really?
yeah, oh my gosh, yes,
Oh,
it's
so
a
you're
whole
saying he's a
thing.
top 100 diversity employer?
Oh, he definitely is a top 100 diversity employer. He's also a top 100 discrimination employer, apparently, as well,
Oh, my
allegedly.
light's not on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. We need to sprinkle. Oops. My
Um,
light fell. Hold on. I need to turn my light on. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Um, yeah, so what do you think? I mean, so do you think there's going to be a mass exodus?
I mean, I was on the Twitter last night, and there seems to be a meeting going on right now with Black Twitter. Black Twitter is discussing possible exodus, and they are looking for a good landing ground for their opinions and
Yeah,
clout.
people are like, do we leave all? Is there a date? Like, are we
Yeah,
all
I
leaving
think
at
people are like,
once?
okay, when are we putting in our 2 weeks?
Right.
When is Black Twitter
And then
officially
people like on
quitting
my
Twitter?
sister's page, people are like, "What are we doing? Like, is there a date?" And then somebody's like, "It doesn't take over until he doesn't take over till like in like 6 months." They're like, "Oh, so we got 6 months," and people are
Yeah,
like, "I
six
wasn't
months.
using it anyway." So, I mean, I barely use Twitter. I use Twitter more because of two live recruiters than I ever have, and I get these tweets, and I'm like, I don't care what you have to say, but isn't it funny how important it is for us to be able to express our opinion on a platform. I mean, as we
Fact.
sit here talking our opinions, like
We should. We should.
we think like does that mean that we care about our voices more than other people's voices, or is it just a good thing? But anyway,
I
back in
think that I mean our voice always kind of makes things happen, and there are some Black social media sites that we can start to kind of explore. There's Melanin People. There's the
okay.
Cookout, uh,
Oh,
fan
hmm,
base, and Bean is another one. Truso are like five
oh,
really
Truso's kind of close to Trump's Truth Social that he called True. He called it. He had a rally yesterday. He called it Trust Central. He forgot the name of his own platform,
yeah.
and
So
he's
we got to
only put one message out. in like
We
three
got a
months.
couple.
So.
We got a couple spots where we can slide off to.
Okay,
You
we
know.
can go to okay,
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, that's I mean, I only follow a few people. The writer from Insecure, is it Natasha Rothwell?
Hmm.
Every day she says, Governor Trump, you are trash. I mean, not Trump, Kemp.
That is funny.
Messed up the names. All right, so all right, so we don't know how we feel about that. Oh, you hit me to this that apparently there are people out there who are wealthier than Bill Gates or Elon Musk who pay Forbes not to be on
Man,
the list.
man. As
Roll,
much as
go
we
with
talk about Elon Musk being so rich, the richest don't even have their names on the list. You know,
their
apparently you can
phantom,
pay
the phantom
exactly the
wealth.
phantom wealth, the wealth beyond wealth. Um,
Yes.
they pay Forbes and their writers to not put their names on the list. Can you
And who are
imagine?
these people? Do we have any idea? Like, what are they? Captains of industry? Are they investors? I mean, they are people that are just buying up all the houses because they're Wall Street is in the housing market now. You get a call or a text 5 times a week asking somebody wanting to buy your house. I'm like, no, my neighbors don't want me to sell to you so you can lowball. But who do
No,
you think these people are? I mean, they're
I'm
moving.
guessing they're
They're
probably
making money moves for sure.
yeah. I'm guessing that a lot of them may be uh not from this like country. Maybe they're like Arabian.
Ah.
Maybe they are
Oh, you're so
listed
smart, Shane.
in other publications that may be international, or maybe they just
Oh.
don't want them. Or maybe there's some political reason. Maybe Forbes don't agree with how these people made their money,
Mhm.
and so they won't give them any sort of clout on their list. Or maybe they just have so much money that they tell Forbes not to put their
That
names on the
sounds
list.
like generation. I'm like generation, like going back hundreds of years wealth. Like,
Yeah.
cause money,
Mhm.
real money is very quiet.
Exactly. Money
It's
ain't loud.
very
The people
quiet.
who really
Yeah.
make money, they're not out here buying Twitter. They already
No.
own
I mean,
they
he
own
has a
the
lot of money.
internet that Twitter is on, right?
the
Like,
fu- the funny thing is that yeah, Tesla shares have plummeted because investors are afraid that he's going to be so wrapped up in Twitter that he'll be distracted from his day job. So
interesting. I mean, it's
at the end of the day, he's still peddling his wares,
yeah.
right? So if you're peddling your wares, you're out there hustling. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So this is an interesting story. A Kentucky man who suffered from was it PTSD or was it he was just anxiety. He suffered
Hmm.
from anxiety, right? He let it be known to HR and to folk that he did not like. His birthday was coming up. He did not like surprise parties. It stemmed back to his childhood. Do not have a surprise party for him. So what do they
He did
do?
what he was supposed to do.
They gathered in the break room with a cake to
Even
surprise
though
him.
even though he said don't do it. I
Even
know
though
how
he
y'all work around here.
right.
Don't celebrate. I'm good.
So Bra went to his car to eat his cheese sandwich. Okay, he's like, all I want to do is come to work, eat
He's
my
like, I
cheese
want none
sandwich,
of
and go
this.
home.
I'm
Okay,
not trying to be friends.
right. So and then he sent an email like, sorry, but I have suffered from anxiety, blah 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 blah. Basically, he gets called on it, right? And his manager says you are stealing their joy. Like you're stealing, like the people that wanted to give him some cake are more important than him. Like you're stealing their joy, and then said they felt threatened by him, and then fired him, like so of a wrongful termination. So he won
Mhm.
this happened in 2019. So he won $450,000. Do you think it
He
should have been
did.
more?
I would have sued for the whole company. That. Hey man, you gotta go. You gotta go hard. You gotta. I would have went. I would have went for the whole shebang and see what we could have came out with. See
Listen
how
to
it
the
would trickled
birds.
there.
Yeah, listen to
Yeah,
the birds. There are our guests today. The birds.
my birds are definitely
I
fully
have birds
fully.
too. Shane. I have a big tree outside my window. All right. So update on the death row inmate situation. So apparently, the South Carolina State Supreme Court stepped in twice. So
Yep,
there were
they
two
have.
delays, one to 429, and now then they pushed it back to like I think 513. And now there's no. I mean they're not giving much of a reason. They're just saying we don't think he should be executed on 513, and we'll release some statement later. They're not saying when or why or who shot John or what. So more there. Um, so in Georgia, because we will not be outdone by South Carolina, there is a man
Not at all.
who wants a firing squad too. He said his attorney said he has compromised veins and it would make lethal injection excruciating.
Uh, you know, if we were in a perfect society, I would definitely be an advocate of instant death penalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where as you're convicted, you're killed. Because these folks spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years on death row,
Mm-hmm.
eating up tax dollars. But due to our imperfect society and people lying and people being falsely uh, accused and
Mm-hmm.
falsely convicted, we can't
Right.
because we see it
Right.
all the time where folks
Yes.
come back out and evidence was tampered with, blah blah blah. Blah.
Right.
But in perfect world, man, I'd kill these folks who deserve to be killed the next day.
Gosh.
It would be like old school. It'd be like, all right, cool, you're guilty. Let's hang them and shoot
Oh my
them. Like I feel like once you get to a certain point in our next story that we're going to talk about, like that, it should not all this extra talk. Why are we talking so much? Why are we going through so much? Did this person kill a gajillion people? Did they go ahead and dismember folks? Yes, you got evidence. It's clear.
Right.
Okay, let's kill them tomorrow. Like, why are
Like-
you wasting time? I don't get.
Well,
you know
because
what?
of the system, it's working the way it's supposed to work, I suppose, where people,
You got to
you
get as
you
much
have
free
attorneys
labor
to try
as
to get
possible.
appeals. Yeah.
You got to make all that
Um,
money off their free
well,
bodies in
anyway,
jail.
Way to go, Georgia. They said no, so he's taking it to the highest court in the land,
For
so
now.
to the Supreme Court.
now.
Yeah.
Once Georgia gets a whiff of this, and then Florida, God forbid, Florida finds out you can kill people by shooting them. Oh, it's gonna be on the pop in Florida.
I think Florida, low key, I think Florida already knows that. That's why they have that. What's that?
I mean,
what's that?
Florida
What's
already
that
do it.
law
That's why they
that
do
you
the
don't?
stand your ground
Right.
law.
Yeah, stand your
Yeah.
ground. Yeah, Florida's hip.
Florida already
Florida
do it, but
is
they-
like, we will not be outdone by anyone. Okay, show
Florida
me
just
the
let their civilians do it.
right. They're overseers. They're
Exactly.
overseers. They became officers. All right. So this one, I don't know how I feel about this story. Because are we talking about the story or the fact that the defense attorney understood the assignment?
I think both.
So there's a Texas man who was on trial for killing an elderly woman. Now, allegedly, he has killed 18 elderly
18.
people. He had his MO. He worked in like healthcare, like, you know what I mean, like with seniors in assisted living places, and apparently he would go in and smother them and steal their jewelry. So the woman that he's and they have proof because there was a woman who lived.
Yep.
Like he tried to smother her, she lived, and he stole her jewelry. So the woman that this man is on trial for killing, they thought it was an accidental death. They thought she just died. And a few years later, they call her daughter, and they're like, we think that she was murdered.
Right.
Because this evidence came out with this other guy. So basically how did that end in a hung jury? Now, how?
Because he has a great attorney, right? And this is about how when you get hired to do a job and you know how to do your job properly. Shout out to attorneys like Johnny Cochran and this young man, his attorney is amazing. Because I can't understand how in Texas, a black man, because the murderer is a black man.
Allegedly murder. He's not allegedly black.
18 elderly women. Of course, women were black and white and all over. And
this woman he followed home from Walmart. See, nothing good. I'm sorry, I don't want to go into the evil empire, but nothing good happens in Walmart parking lots.
Listen,
absolutely nothing.
You sound like my wife. We will be out shopping. She will not get out the car to go in Walmart, but let us pull up in the Target. Oh, she's good to go.
Target, because Target has good lighting. It's the lighting too. Target and Publix both have good lighting. Walmart and Kroger have bad lighting. So it's all about, as your light lets you know, it's all about the light.
Listen, so this man's attorney has been amazing because somehow they are still in the process of trying to figure out whether or not he's guilty. Whether he's coming up for retrial. He's coming up for do you imagine how good of an attorney you have to be to have a living witness, and somehow you still convince the jury that maybe he didn't do it.
Yes.
Maybe he didn't.
I know. Like maybe he didn't do. Maybe it wasn't him.
Maybe
like
it wasn't
he was
him.
Shaggy. It wasn't me.
It's person's
Yeah.
elderly. Maybe they,
Maybe
that's
they
good.
thought it was like some my cousin Vinny thing. Like, honey, well, let me see your glass. Like me with my glasses. Like,
You
how
know,
many fingers am I holding up?
listen, bro, I'm trying to tell you, like, you gotta, hey, when you know you're calling and you go do it, you're good at it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Because we
He's
all
winning.
know that OJ is not guilty, but Johnny did what he had to do.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
That's a double negative,
That's
which
a
means
double
positive.
negative.
That he did it. So you okay? I can't even go there.
You don't think
Because
OJ did
for
it? Oh, OJ
for
definitely did.
years I didn't think that he did it. You know why? Because the timeline. I was like, nope, he ain't have pre-check. Can't nobody get to the airport that fast. You know what I mean? Kill somebody, go home, clean up, get to the airport, get to the security checkpoint. He didn't have pre-check. He didn't have clear.
He's the juice.
This wasn't enough. I thought there wasn't enough time. Like, you can't do all that in 45 minutes. Like, my husband missed a flight last Friday.
The juice
and we had an hour from the gate.
The juice came. He's the juice. He did it. He did it.
Okay, I'm sure he did. He's
sure
nuts. Yeah, I'm sure he did it. He's nuts. Or did the son do it? So anyway,
when he wrote the book, you remember the book?
If I would have done it, this is how I would have done it.
Thank you, OJ, for he needed to get it off his chest. He needed to tell us that he did it in order for us to understand how great it was that he got away with it. It was like, if I did it, but just
if I did it, this is
if I did.
If I did, this is how I did it. Okay.
So shout out to knowing how to do your job and doing your job properly. So whatever jobs you get, please make sure you do your job properly.
Yes, do your job, whether it's flipping burgers or getting
keeping
retrials
serial killers out of jail.
Yeah. Oh man, which man is that kind of like you did need a shower at the end of the day?
And now you know what
well, you need to shower.
I enjoy it when the criminal justice system works in our favor a little bit.
Yeah, but he's a monster.
He's a monster. He's one of those people that should be killed immediately.
Yes.
There shouldn't be much.
And you're preying on elderly people, like elderly people.
You have to be to
what a loser.
I'm gonna go kill, whatever.
And then steal their jewelry, like geez Louise. So anyway, all right, Florida bride and caterer lace food at reception with marijuana.
Listen. I ain't saying that it was right. But I love the direction they were going into, right? When my wife and I got married, we just went down to the courthouse. We got married, we were young, 19 and 21. So when we never had a wedding, right? So we've been married now 17 years. Our anniversary was last week.
Happy anniversary.
I'm telling you, when we do have our wedding, because I think we're going to do it for 25, we're going to have a big wedding. There will be an infused section. There will be a section of food that will be infused with marijuana. And, I think that they had the right idea. Poor execution. This is why project managers are so important. This is why diversity around the thinking table is so important, right? Because when they brought the idea up, someone at that table should have been like, listen, maybe we should tell people.
Well, who was at the table? Oh, like, how you want to be in the room where it happens.
The bride and the planner. That's it.
Yeah, that was it. They had their meeting of the minds. Like, I've got a great idea.
You gotta have diversity around the table. You gotta have somebody else be like, you know what, guys, great idea. Love where you're going, but here's how we need to clean.
Right. Here's how we,
Yeah, and let's not let kids get high off the food.
Because there were children there, right?
Children there as well. Gotta have diversity.
And people got sick.
Because if you ingest too much marijuana, your body's gonna reject it. You can't if you ingest way too much edibles. I ain't saying that I know what happens, but I'm saying I know what happens.
You don't know firsthand. Allegedly.
You can't take in too much marijuana all at once, right? And, if you're just sitting there eating food at the wedding, you're like, oh well, calories don't count this weekend. Gosh. Oh, we eating this weekend, and now all of a sudden you high as a kite, and your body's
you get up to do the electric slide and the cha-cha slide. You pass.
Yeah, it's a wrap after that. It's a wrap.
Man, I wonder what. Yeah. Anyway,
do you watch Snowfall?
No.
Okay, Snowfall is a great show. Allegedly, it's about
on FX,
the life and times of Freeway Rick Ross, one of the most accomplished drug dealers coming out of Cali. Anyway, so in this show, the last episode, one of his drug dealing cohorts decided they wanted to make a wedding more exciting, and so they laced the wedding with LSD. They put LSD in the chocolate.
That is insane. The chocolate fountain.
Yeah, the chocolate fountain. So it was times, right?
He's like, let's get the party started.
Let's get that's basically and it's so weird because he did with the purest of intentions. Oh, I just want to make everybody happy. Let's put some
like you're walking around like, oh.
That's exactly how they were walking around. It was great, man. But yeah, I like where they went with it. I like what they were hoping to do. Like they weren't.
So is the show set in the 80s?
Yeah, it starts off in the 70s.
Oh,
yeah,
I've never heard of this person.
Snowfall. Look at Snowfall.
No, I've heard of the show because that dude is British.
Damon Idris, part of the DSS. Yeah. I told my wife I'm joining the DSS because she's a big fan of Daniel Kaluuya, and he is apparently co-founder of DSS. Shout out to Dark Skin Society.
You're so stupid. Is that what they?
That they call themselves? Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, Idris, did you know? Like, funny point that Leonardo DiCaprio and who was the dude that played the first Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire and whatever other dude, I can't remember who it was. They called themselves a pussy posse back in the day.
That is interesting.
Yes.
I mean, I can see it.
They did. I don't remember who the third person was, but yes. So anyway, so the caterer was black.
Mm-hmm.
And their mugshots look really different. I wish I could put them up. Like the bride's like, and the caterer's like,
yeah, because the caterer knows what happened to her.
And the bride said that she wasn't in on it, right?
You know she was in on it, yeah. But
who's going to do that? Like, what caterer is going to be like, yeah, let me ruin my reputation, and,
exactly.
Yeah, go to jail for a wedding. But they were all high as hell.
Yeah, I'm sure it was good times. The folks who didn't get sick.
Oh yes, update. It's official. Netflix commercials coming. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I definitely am going to pay for the upgraded non-commercial pack.
See, I was going to ask you where you're going to do that.
Of course. I don't like commercials. I've become so spoiled. I cannot do commercials.
That's like when I watch DirecTV on my phone. They'll have, like, if I'm watching things I streamed, then there's commercials.
Yeah, I got to fast forward. We don't watch anything real time except for sports. Because I can't watch DVR sports. It doesn't work for me. But
because it already happened.
It's getting DVR'd and I fast forward through commercials. Commercials and myself don't get along.
Well, I don't know that I mind commercials. Like I have Hulu. I think I have the free and the paid version, but I don't know my password, so I rarely watch it anyway. I'm not giving Netflix $1 more until they force me to. So if they're like, well, you can have ad free for $15.99, nah. What? Oh, except wait a minute. Let me rethink this because I want to watch Ozark.
Do you want to have a commercial break in the middle of Ozark?
No, I do not.
Is about
You're
to do something crazy. You want them to stop you and show you a commercial?
I'm sorry. Nah. I've lost my mind. I do not. If I'm binge watching something, then do not.
You're not interrupting with the commercial.
So I will upgrade for that show and then I'll go back down. No. So yes. Okay. All right. So our main topic. So as I mentioned at the top of the hour or the middle of the hour, we this is the third installment of a 3-part series. First installment was how 10 signs to tell it's time to find a new job. Last week we talked about kicking off your job search, and this week the best employers. So we looked at the best employers in California and like New York, New Jersey, and then the 100 best diversity employers. So, all right, California. Who do you want to talk about? The top 5. Oh, so California Institute of Technology is number 1. So obviously that's a college. There are 3,900 employees. Adobe is number 2 on this list with a little over 12,000 employees. University of California, Davis. So UC Davis is number 3. They have 31,000 employees. Trader Joe's. Have you ever been to a Trader Joe's?
Oh, most definitely.
Really, I've only been
once. Trader Joe's was that transition stage for us in our like social economic growth as a couple.
Oh, it was?
We started, so first we were like, we just started like Aldi and like do that. Then it was like, oh, making a little bit more money now. Maybe we can start shopping at Trader Joe's a little bit. Add a little Trader Joe's too. And we did that for a couple of years. Now we shop at Whole Foods.
You moved up like George.
Yeah, we done moved on up. Now we're like, in the Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. My daughter be like, are we going to Aldi? I'm like, Aldi.
At Aldi's, you have to bring your own bag in Aldi's, right?
I
I think
mean,
I've
there
only
are
been in there
bags there. You
twice.
can buy bags or whatever.
Okay,
So.
I found big ups to Aldi's because during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, when I couldn't find toilet paper,
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
in
in Aldi.
Walmart because I was desperate looking for toilet paper, and somebody came up and whispered to me, "Go to Aldi's, they have toilet paper." And I was like, "Bet." I was saying to my husband, "We gotta go
Yep.
off to Aldi's."
Shout out to Aldi, man. It was there for me during.
Um,
Yeah, go to Aldi with $60.
I've only
Walk out
been
with a
to
cart full of
Trader Joe's
groceries.
once, and it was because apparently not the millennials, the Gen Zers,
Gen
that's
Zers.
that's their jam. Like my daughter, like everything she gets from TikTok. Fashion, hair, exercise, recipes all come from TikTok. And apparently all the young girls are shopping in Trader Joe's. So she had this whole list of all these things she wanted, including chocolate hummus.
That sounds absolutely disgusting.
She
FYI.
said it's delicious. And
Yeah.
apparently they have a sugar cookie hummus too that Trader Joe's and I think all these are they owned by the same company?
So allegedly,
Okay.
Trader Joe's and Aldi are owned by the same family. From the rumors
Okay.
that I heard, I was actually in Trader Joe's, and one of the cashiers was giving me this like history,
Rundown.
I guess, right?
Mhm.
So apparently, owned by the same family in Europe. One brother split from the family, and he started Trader Joe's. The other brother had
Okay.
Aldi, and then they was successful there, so they brought it. Aldi came over to US first, and the other brother saw how successful Aldi was, and he was like, "Ooh, no, I'm coming over there with Trader Joe's," and then Trader Joe's came over here also. So
Okay.
apparently they're the same organization, same company, allegedly
Okay.
from the same family.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly.
So we went in there and I was like, there's nothing in here I want. But Ariel was like in heaven. Then we were like, but then she couldn't find some things. And I was like, Ariel, why not? We're going to Whole Foods next. You want to come to Whole Foods? She walked in. She was like, oh my
Yeah, there's
gosh. Like
cheers to
that.
this. There's
Yeah.
cheers to this
Right.
natural food buying.
Yeah. Cause she is like the star fruit. All the organic stuff. She buys little organic jars of pesto that cost $8. She doesn't buy. I
Yeah,
buy. I
you
mean,
buy. I'm like, she buys.
when I
You
give her
buy.
the Instacart app, I go before I even start to do my baseline shopping. I'm at like $120 just with her little healthy stuff because she takes her lunch, so
That is
she's
funny.
very healthy. But I had to tell her like when you're getting those frozen foods, even though it says it's organic, there's a lot
The
of sodium.
salt.
Aaron, watch the
Ooh, the salt
sodium.
is
She's
through
like,
the
oh
roof.
my gosh. I'm like, yeah. So rounding out the number 5 is Netflix
Isn't that
with
interesting?
with 7,600 employees.
But that makes sense that Netflix would be a great employer. Shout out to the owner being married to a black woman. And she nice. I feel like black women, y'all always gonna be the great consciousness of America, right? Like she gonna keep him tight. Like he not gonna be on no bull crap because his wife gonna be like, get it
No,
together.
Shane,
Get it together.
you said bull crap. I'm gonna put no bull. I mean, we're not trying to change you, Shane. Okay, let me just stop right now. Okay,
Yes.
you have some people. I mean, you have a way with words, and
I do.
don't censor yourself.
Don't
Nobody
censor
says bull
myself.
crap. Okay, I'm gonna come
Nobody says
slap you.
bull crap.
Okay,
That's not-
bull crap.
That's funny.
Anyway,
She not gonna be with the shits. She gonna let him know.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'll
get
even
it
give you
together.
that one.
You know.
Oh,
I'm
and then
not
shout out to our
surprised.
pharma. Genentech is number 6. Visa is 7 with 20,000 employees. Let's see what's the next one. Google obviously is on the list. UC Davis Health, In-N-Out Burger
Now those are all
is on there.
California-based companies.
Yeah, these are all California-based companies. So 27,000 employees. Have you ever had In-N-Out Burger?
I've never had an In-N-Out burger. No.
I have. Avide, remember Avide?
Mm-hmm.
She took us there. We had went to a Christmas dinner and we were starving. It was tapas, and she was like, "You guys want In-N-Out burger?" I was like, "Yes!" And it was so good. Like Nick and I went back to the hotel and we just like sat in the bar area and ate our In-N-Out burger. It was very tasty.
Yeah.
It wasn't hot by then, but it was still very, very tasty.
Now
you want to talk about the?
Well, if you look at the list, the list by best employers, right? That was done by Forbes. I'm talking about now. You can break down by state. If you look at the list overall, right, they surveyed about 80,000 Americans working for businesses with at least 500 employees, and the top employer by everyone is 3M, and they're based in Minnesota, right? So they're neutral, so that doesn't matter. But the number two company by state in America is on the East Coast. It is ABB in Cary, North Carolina.
ABB. What is that?
ABB. They do semiconductors, electronics, electronic engineering,
Oh,
things of that nature, right? So
okay.
they are number 2 on the list of just overall employer.
Companies.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay.
And then if you go down to the number 8 company is you know what? I've never been able to pronounce your name properly. Accenture, Accenture, Accenture.
Accenture.
Accenture. There we go.
Don Queen.
Accenture.
Don King.
You know, Accenture
Accenture.
is
Yeah,
based in New
Accenture.
York. You know, they do
Right.
professional services. They're number
Right.
8 overall in the country. And then you come down
Wow.
number 10, you have Acorn Engineering out of Cali.
Okay.
So Acorn is there. So if we're looking at the top 10 companies to work for in America,
Hmm.
you have 3 of the top 10 are in the East Coast. I'm not saying that the East Coast companies are better. I'm just saying that the East Coast is being represented pretty hard on the top 10 of this list. And even if we
Okay.
move on down, we see Florida's on the list. They have Acosta Sales and Marketing Company,
Okay.
one of the best places to work for.
Really?
Yep. Number, what's this, 13? You do have Adobe in San Jose and Cali.
Right.
But then right under them, you have ADT Security Systems, Boca Raton, Florida. You have 8. So I'm not
Okay.
saying that the East Coast is better to work for. I'm just saying that Forbes says that it is. That's
Maybe
all.
somebody paid. No, I'm joking.
Um,
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because even if you look at like when I just filtered it by New York and then by California. So the top company in New York, as far as according to this list, is Regeneron Pharmaceutical. So I have some friends there. So that's interesting. So that's drugs and biotech, but that makes sense because they have they don't have a vaccine, right? But they have pharmaceuticals. They have treatment, right, for COVID. I think they have
yeah,
COVID medications, but not an actual vaccine. The money's in the medicine, right?
exactly.
Isn't
Got to
that
keep
that's
them
what Chris
sick.
Rock said? The
Just to
money's in the
keep them sick.
medicine. Yeah. um, Cornell. So it's like these colleges and universities are always going to be top, 5, top 10 in a state. So Cornell University, Corning is number 3, the 50,000 employees. They're out of Corning, New York. Um, Moog is out of Elma, New York. So I've never heard of Moog or Elma. It's aerospace and defense. Have you ever heard of them? They're
Mhm.
Penguin Random House, which makes sense. That's out of New York City. Pfizer, our shout out to our pharmaceutical friends. 88,000 employees. That's insane.
That's a lot.
That's a
Now,
lot of people.
we're hearing a lot of names, but what's interesting is if we line up the names on this list with
Hmm.
the same names of best
Excuse me.
diversity companies to work for, only a couple
Hmm.
companies can transition over. So the Fortune magazine did a article of the best workplaces for diversity in 2019.
Yep.
Now this list compiles.
What happened what happened to 20 and 21? I mean,
I don't
this
think
was a good
anybody.
list. I mean, this was really a good list. I mean, it was really broke things down. Other lists I saw didn't really
I don't think you
break
can
it down.
really. I think 2021 is just like
A wash.
asterisk years for
Okay.
everyone, right? Those years don't count, as recruiters, we don't care about those years as on their CVs. They're like, whatever happened in those 2 years, we get it.
Right. You
It
had
was,
5 jobs in 2021.
we
Yeah, okay.
understand, right? It's like okay, we all get it. We
That's
don't
like
count
back
those
in the
years.
day, like 2008, like after the
2008, yeah, that
housing market
2008,
crashed and
2010. It's
everything
like
crashed. We were like, the market crashed. We were like, okay,
we understand.
you sold hot dogs on the.
Wait, you went from a director of operations to working at a concession stand at the local stadium. I get it. It was a tough time. It was a tough. We understand. So we don't count those years. Yeah.
Right.
So
We
Fortune magazine.
actually appreciate creativity in what you did.
I see what you did
So
there.
I
Exactly.
see what you did. I told you I worked with this. Oh, it was ASM marketing. And we staffed like the Wegmans and the Publix and the Walmarts and all that stuff with the people who make the little samples and pass them
Yeah.
out. I hired those people
Hey,
in 2009 at that.
man,
Yeah.
shout out to us pre-COVID doing shit like eating samples in the stores.
Uh-huh.
Other people have touched already. Yo, that shit is wild, bro. We was living
Well,
life dangerously.
Well, wait, I think I lived life dangerously last week in Idaho because I was stayed at a Hampton Inn
Mm,
and
mm, mm.
And I went downstairs for breakfast, this thinking, oh, I'll go down and get some bacon because bacon is, just the cornerstone of any hearty
American diet.
breakfast. So they had sausage. I was like,
Oh,
what? They had eggs and sausage, and then they had biscuits and gravy. I was like, no. So I got some
no,
eggs. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Let me look at me throwing caution to the wind,
just go
eating
with
from
it.
the little buffet thing.
Oh
So
my gosh, gotta love it,
yeah.
right? So we look at this list of companies that the best employers. Now we look at the
Mm-hmm.
best diversity employers, and the
Mm-hmm.
top 10 list for that is interesting, right? Stryker,
Yep.
number one on the list, right? And we all know, for you those who don't know, Stryker is a medical device
Mm-hmm.
organization, and I've known many of diverse persons to have great success in careers at Stryker. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Stryker number one, Cisco number two, Progressive Insurance number three. Number four is Accenture, or what did you just say?
Accenture.
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 You
Mm-hmm.
know, Accenture is number four.
But did you look at the numbers for diversity? Like there, isn't that interesting though? 48%
That's
at
strong.
Cisco.
That's strong.
28%. It was is the second number female.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what are they
It
counting
is.
minor like how I'd like to know how they're coming up with those numbers.
I mean, I think probably the same way everyone else does.
Oh,
Like
okay.
minorities would be minorities, and they
Mm-hmm.
probably include women in their minority numbers,
Oh, you think?
because
Okay.
yeah. And then you have women executives on the list. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that these organizations are doing a great job of
Mm-hmm.
creating, because we both know many people from Stryker who have had a great success in careers. We see resumes all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, number five is Synchrony. Number six
Mm-hmm.
is Mohegan Sun. Seven is Workday. Shout out to
Yeah.
Workday. It is your best friend and worst enemy at times.
Oh man. It's like
Their
I
ATS
hug I
system,
hug Workday and push it away at the same
yeah,
time.
their
Like,
ATS system is tough.
yeah.
Adobe is number eight. Ultimate
Yep.
Software number nine, and Marriott International is number 10.
Marriott.
Marriott, Marriott. I'm surprised Delta's not on the list. As many black folks work at Delta. How's
Yeah,
Delta
and
not on the
Delta
top
is
10
known
list?
to be very good. Like there's a lot of diversity and they're good to their employees. Like pre-COVID, they have made, I mean, just money, printing money over there. So they gave everybody like these huge bonuses. Unfortunately, during COVID, they had to furlough some people, but they brought them all back. So um yeah.
Yeah, Delta's always had a good record in the community.
Mm-hmm. HP's on there, PwC,
Facts.
PricewaterhouseCoopers, Hulu. 50
Ooh,
their numbers
look at that.
55%. Or no, 53, sorry. Hilton, 69%.
Always like to see beautiful black faces when I walk into
AbbVie,
my Hiltons.
yeah, AbbVie, so that's pharmaceutical, um, out of Indy, and that's 32%.
And that's dope that they're on the list, because they're also on the list of best employers based out of Chicago. You know what I mean? Doing
Mm-hmm.
their thing.
Oh, yeah, Chicago, not Indy. What are they? Chicago or Indy? They're Chicago.
And it says their headquarters are in Chicago.
Yeah, they're Chicago. American Savings Bank,
I've never heard of
80.
them.
I haven't either. 87%.
Interesting. Maybe,
Yep. I mean, there are a lot of hotels. So there's Hyatt's on that list. Yeah, there are a lot. Oh, Publix is on there.
Publix is on. Publix was actually in their top 10 in 2018. I know they fell off.
Yeah, they
I guess they had to let
did.
some people go.
Oh,
I'm guessing that's what I'm guessing.
that Publix is years ago I worked for a company and we recruited people for Home Depot,
Hmm.
like managers and store managers, department managers, things of that nature. And so Publix was hard to get people out of.
I would
They had
think.
gold
Yeah,
handcuffs. They paid the managers very well over there.
I'm not sure who
Great
does
bonuses.
their baking training at Publix, but the Publix cakes are always amazing. Public
There's
birthday cakes.
crack.
I don't care
Secret
what
ingredient is
state you
crack.
go into. I don't care where you at in the country. It don't matter. It doesn't change. One thing that is going to be as true as death and taxes is that a Publix cake is going to be A1, no matter where you get it from. God damn, them Publix cakes we good.
You know what? Publix cakes are good, but I will tell you that I cannot eat birthday cake without ice cream.
I can
So
see that.
once the ice cream runs out, I'm
What
done
kind of
because
ice
I've
cream?
got to vanilla or
Vanilla.
French
That's
vanilla, and I
what the
mix it
classic.
all. I mix it
Mm.
all together because it cuts the sweetness. Otherwise, I cannot eat cake. I
What do you mean
cannot
you
just
mix it
eat
all
birth.
together?
I put it in my bowl, and I mix
Uh-huh.
the ice cream and the cake together, and then I eat
Like
it.
you literally, like
I
you
mush
mix
it
it
up.
together.
Hmm. I invented birthday cake ice cream.
You know what's great
Yeah.
about being an adult? That I'm gonna go out this afternoon. I'm gonna go buy me a cake, and I'm gonna go
We're gonna
buy
cake.
me some
It's
ice
nobody.
cream,
Is it your
and I'm
birthday?
gonna mix it up just for the hell of it. You know, I was like,
And
as an
do it.
adult, we can do
And
this. We can do this.
right, and you can do that first, and then you can eat dinner afterwards. Like
Yeah, like
whatever.
I don't. I'm grown. I can do. There's
Yep.
nothing stopping me from going out to buy a cake at 1 o'clock and some ice cream, mixing it together and eating it. Just
Yep.
because you know what, I fucking feel like it. So that's what
I okay. So my mom's birthday was a couple weeks ago, and she loves Publix cakes, or she calls it public. I'm like, it is not public. It is
yeah, it's
Publix.
whatever she want to
She
call it.
calls Netflix. I'm like, they have more than one movie.
Yo,
It is
Mama
not
Patricia says she ain't saying no
Netflix.
X's. It's strictly
Right.
C's. Yeah,
Right.
she don't pronounce the X, bro. It's a C to her.
I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, okay, fine. I'm like, stop it.
That's
But we have to get everybody a Publix cake, right? And I didn't eat any. I was like, Uncle, I just had eat I had what I guess I was having a bad week that week. I ate 2 boxes of Pop-Tarts.
Is it the non-frosting ones?
Hell no.
The ones with the
Frosting,
frosting?
strawberry.
With the frosting.
Strawberry frosting. Yeah.
I don't even know
I
why they make other flavors.
I was hiding them. And Jackson saw the wrappers. He said, "You have Pop-Tarts?" Because he's a super sleuth.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. And then he was like, where'd you have them? Where were they hidden? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's like my wife
So
and
then I
daughter. Well, she's always hiding food from Noel. That's
so then I felt bad. So I left a
Mm.
pack out. I left a box out for him so he could have some.
Look
And
at you.
he inhaled them.
Look
But
at you.
mine were still hidden. Yeah, so I didn't eat any cake that week. But my husband loves everybody in the house loves everybody everywhere loves Publix cakes. But my husband doesn't like icing, so he scrapes the icing off and just eats the cake.
Oh, man, the icing, that cream cheese icing.
It's buttercream. It's not cream cheese, it's buttercream.
Don't tell me. I always thought it was cream cheese.
No, the
Mm.
cream cheese icing is in the like the carrot cake. The carrot like the carrot cupcakes and the carrot cake. Yeah,
You
it's
learn something
buttercream.
every day.
Yep, it's buttercream. And then they
Whatever
have
it
that shit.
is, I'm gonna go get some this
Yeah,
afternoon.
it's crack and bacon is in there.
I wonder if I can
Um,
Instacart me a Publix cake. Yeah, I'm gonna figure
You
that out.
can. You can. Because I forgot to order my mom not because I forgot to order her cake. Because we were going to dinner and I sent the flowers and then I was like the day before, the morning of, I was like, oh snap, I didn't get a cake. So I called Publix and I was like, I need a cake for today. Oh, hey, it has to be 24 hours. I said, don't you have some cakes in the freezer? Yeah. Can't you grab a cake in the freezer and write happy birthday, Nana on it? She's like, no. I was like, why
What?
not? Go to the Instacart app, go to bakery, cake right there, frosted, no writing, got some flowers on it, ordered some icing because Ariel is a baker,
Shout out to Ariel.
threw some candles on it. Yeah. Only thing is it didn't come in a box. It came in the plastic container, but who cares? So that thing was gone in 2 days anyway. So
Hey, when you know your assignment, you know the word of the day today is know your assignment. From the criminal attorney.
is that the word? Because that's more
Yeah.
than one. No,
Is that more than the word? Like like when you church, they
The
say here's
phrase
the
of the
word
day.
of the day. Like I'm,
Oh,
so it's like the
okay.
word.
All
You
right.
need the
Not
word
literally,
in
but
church. Not literal
figuratively.
word, but
Okay.
like metaphorical word of the day is know your assignment, right? Know what you want to do. Like in everything that we're talking about. The public bakers, they know what they're doing. They know what they want to
Publix.
do.
All right, Barb.
No, public bakers. Your mom is converting me. The public bakers.
And Netflix. You on
Netflix.
Netflix
I'm
and
only
chill?
saying Netflix from now on. Like I want to watch some Netflix, right? That is, they know what they're doing. Hey, the
Oh,
criminal attorney who
gosh.
can keep a man who is clearly guilty of
Oh
terminating
my
people.
gosh. And
Keep him-
despicable.
Yeah, and despicable, right? Publix, they know what they're doing. These employers that have great diversity numbers, man, as you're going through this and looking for your job change and realizing where you want to go, do some research, right? Look up the companies that have good reputations. Look up the companies that have good clout. Shout out to Glassdoor for keeping us all honest about company culture. Because, golly, boy, go on Glassdoor when you're ready to join the organization.
Right.
Read about it, because I assure you, it's not lies. It is not lies what you're seeing.
Yeah,
on
everybody
Glassdoor.
can't be lying. You know what I
Everybody
mean?
can't be lying. If you, hey, shout out to relationships, right? If you are always breaking up, if you've never been in a consistent relationship, at some point in time, you gotta look in the mirror. Everybody ain't
Yeah.
lying. You might be the
Everybody is
toxic
not
one.
lying.
You might be toxic.
It could be you.
It could be you.
Yeah.
It's not everybody. If you've been fired from every job you've had, maybe every manager doesn't like you. Maybe you need to reevaluate what you do when you go to work.
Right.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to, because like we talked a couple weeks ago about people, and this happened again, where somebody interviewed with a company on one day, got an offer the next day, and they took it. I'm like, what are you doing? That's just all about money. Like, no, you've got to do. And then 6 months later, you're like, what have I done?
That literally, I
So,
just did an offer this week for someone who we made an offer to earlier this year. They turned us down to go with their company, not to stay at their own company. And
okay.
now, 4 months later, they've come back to re-interview for the same job that they turned down a couple months ago. And they,
Wow.
and they're going to make them offer again. So,
Okay. Well,
you
you
know.
have to make, think long, you think wrong too. So it's like it goes both ways. Don't be too, you know what I mean? Haste makes waste, and think long. I'm full of them today. Full of them.
There you go.
But my sister Kelly really liked our segment on like just with the job, like the job search part, where you talked a lot about like how do you train, like the transferable skill
translating
sets
skills.
and and like order flip, order burgers, flipping, whatever, fry
Right.
dropping, and project
yeah.
managing. How did it go?
We should
Like,
do something like that. And how to translate
snap,
over. You're
look,
translating your skill
look,
sets.
Phil.
That's all right.
It's like, nope. My curtain's like Jordan Peele's movie. Nope.
Nope. That is.
Oh, why did it fall? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, we might have to edit.
Is
the shit
Beanie
out of
back
this.
there?
Yeah. Nah,
Well, we
Beanie.
don't have to. I don't care. It's
You don't care? I think it adds some. Yeah, add some.
it's
some
it's real.
sazon to the.
Right. So, anybody else we want to miss? How do we want to wrap up?
I don't want to wrap up, man. I don't know. You can tell people to be good to yourself, be good to others. We can tell people to make sure you do your research before you go applying for jobs, because happiness is not just in the offer, right? Like, you don't want to come into a company and you find out that this company is toxic. When you could have just found that out by going on Glassdoor. You could have just found that out by, researching where they rank against other employers in the same industry. Like, do your research before you go applying just to any old place.
And I will say that, and I know this can be difficult to do, but I think for recruiters it's a little bit easier, or maybe I'm just thinking in my own little, my own little sphere of influence. But I have always, like to talk to people about companies. I like to know someone at that company. It's like years ago, I decided that I would never date strangers, if that makes any sense. The person had to have references.
Right.
And someone had to be able to vouch for them. I could not just be like, okay, let me just meet a stranger. You know what I mean? Like, because that happened to me literally. Somebody, came to my office. He was with a Saudi prince or something, and we started dating. It turns out he was married. I mean, that was 30 years ago.
Was he actually a prince, though?
The guy that the person wasn't a Saudi prince, but he worked with a Saudi prince. He lost his luggage. This is when I worked for U.S. Airways. Anyway, so after that, I swore that I would never date a stranger. They'd have to have references. So,
man, you should use that as a referral network. You just entertain him to get yourself closer to the Saudi prince, to get yourself a $500 million contract like Janet had, and live your best life.
That's okay. But the same thing with companies. Like, I think the companies where I haven't known people, and I haven't done that, that hasn't happened a lot, but you can kind of get, thrown into a trick bag. But that's where Glassdoor is it definitely comes handy. I mean, there's haters out there, but there's haters on every platform.
Most definitely.
So
you got to take the good with the bad. And just like when you're looking something up on Google, you don't ever take the first article you see. You got to read at least 3 articles when you look something up. Yeah, because you're going to have one person's going to say this, one person's going to say that, and one article may tell the truth. So always look up at least 3 articles.
Yep, 3 versions. Now, but if you type Florida, then believe everything you see that comes up afterwards.
Sit back with some popcorn. Look up Florida man, Florida woman.
Just type Florida man.
And sit back and enjoy the show.
Like you're bored, just type Florida. FL. You have to type in all of Florida.
Enjoy the time, because I'm promising those stories going to be good.
You're welcome.
Those stories are going to be, you will be entertained. I assure you that.
Oh, okay. So let's tell the people how they can. All right. So obviously, guys, that we're on Anchor, we're on Spotify. You can like,
Twitter,
you can
IG.
follow on Anchor and Spotify
Mhm.
on YouTube. You can like and subscribe. We're Twitter, Twitter, IG, Facebook.
Mhm. We're out there.
We're
And
out there.
our merch is
So
coming. You'll see
our
our
merch
merch
is
pretty
coming. I know
soon.
we've been saying it, but it's coming. It's coming. Um,
I'll sprinkle one of
and
our shirts in every once in a while, as opposed to my normal,
oh, what's that one?
black activism shirt.
Oh,
This
that's the
one is
Roots. That's from the
that.
Roots. Is
No,
that
this
from
is
the Roots? What's that
Pam
from?
Eccles. This is Pam Eccles in 19, I think it's like 68. She was at a housing demonstration, and the cop was acting crazy, and she, decided to go ahead
Oh,
and say, nah, bro,
okay.
I ain't got time for that today.
Okay.
So
Well, hey, there's awesome activist.
activism.
So you can reach us at info@twoliverecruiters.com. You can
Hmm.
email us as well. And the website's twoliverecruiters.com as well. So, but I'm having people like my sister was like, she couldn't like Facebook. Apparently, when I share, it's not like this is someone that I communicate with on Facebook daily,
Right.
but it's not kind of coming up top. So I'm just going to start flooding everybody
Yeah.
with our
We
posts
not. We gotta.
because
Yeah. We gotta be part of the algorithm. We gotta
yeah,
start
yeah, I know. It's like,
flooding these
geez.
streets.
Yes. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for
Appreciate it.
watching. What are we talking about next week, Shane?
I think we're going to talk about how to take some key phrases in your resumes and translate them into other industries. That's what the streets is asking
Oh,
for.
that
I
is
think that's what we need to do. We want to
okay.
show folks
That'll
how to
be
flip their resumes
awesome.
to go from one industry to the next.
You know what we need to talk about too
What's that?
is how to change careers. That
Ooh,
needs to be one of our
that can be part of it. We can do
okay.
career transition is what we're going to talk about next,
Yeah,
and
because
everything that goes into that.
yeah, because people want to reinvent themselves. So
Facts.
and they need to just look at what they have to that'll get them to where they want to be. So okay, well thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day and
Yeah.
see you next week.
Peace.
Bye, Shane.
Bye.